Hey guys, guess who stopped in to see us? We have a special treat today. We're going to get some answers. About what? Stick around and find out next. Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave, and today we've got a great guest that stopped in to talk with us, and I'm anxious to see if you have any interest on this subject. Stick around, but first, I want to let you know that if you find this video interesting at all, please share it, like, subscribe to the channel. That means so much to us. And check out our website, www.treasurevalley.com, and go to that resources tab. We've got a lot of great information right there for free for you. And so today, we've got Michael Hanks. He stopped by. He recently relocated to Idaho from one of those blue states, and we hope to hear a little bit about how that went. And also, he's a lender, and he's got some interesting things to tell us about what's going on in the lending world right now. So let's go see what Mike has to say.
My name is Michael Hanks. I'm 32 years old. I am from Oregon originally. I've been in Idaho for 2 weeks. I'm actually a lender with Summit Funding as well.
Great. And what brought you this way?
I think the word that sticks in my mind the most is freedom. We moved here to have a more free living experience to raise our kids in.
Great. Yep. And you're not alone in that. A lot of people have moved this way from California, New York, all those kinds of places for that same exact reason.
Gotcha.
And what got you into lending then?
What got me into lending originally was just the option to move to another state. Where I was working previously was to take over a business, and that would have been quite the commitment to stay there forever. Doing the job I do now allows me to move pretty much wherever, but I also learned to love the face-to-face interaction I get, and just the ability to really, just like Treasure Valley Dave, help people achieve the American dream of home ownership.
So in your experience, what can someone do to prepare to get pre-qualified for a mortgage loan?
Pre-qualification is always like the first step, I say. Reaching out to a lender early on is always a very good idea. But steps to take to get pre-qualified is just kind of look at whatever debt that you maybe don't need beforehand, maybe doing without that car payment or the trailer or whatever. Any other debt that you take on is called a liability, and it just kind of takes away from what you can technically borrow for a home loan.
And does that impact the rate as well, or is it really just that number of house that you can afford?
Really, when you're talking about debt, it just affects how much you can borrow in a month. So,
okay,
not as much the rate.
That was more of a question for me because I was curious.
That's all right.
What types of home loans do you offer?
The four main loan types that we focus on at Summit Funding really are VA, FHA, conventional, and USDA. But we do offer a lot of other options that kind of don't fit the normal mold.
Can you quickly break down how a client can determine which mortgage loan would be best for them?
Yeah, that typically happens with just a interview with the client where we really find out what their goals are. Each loan type offers different things, and so it's just up to the loan officer's best advice guiding that client into what loan type fits them the best as per what their goals are.
Okay. Yeah, because I had never even heard of is it like an ARM?
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of those types of loans before working at a real estate office. I was only offered the VA loan because I'm a veteran,
mm-hmm.
or a conventional loan. And I'm guessing it's because that's where I was at in my life.
Yeah, so when you talk about ARMs, actually, there are many different types of loans that fall either under conventional or non-conforming. Those are all offered. I guess to explain what an ARM is, it's an adjustable rate mortgage. There's always a fixed period of time where you have a lower rate, and then after that period is over, your rate can go up. Where those differ from previously is you typically qualify the client on the highest possible rate. That really protects the client, and having those conversations really sets them up for success down the road.
So can you talk a little bit about interest rates right now and how buyers can navigate them? It's kind of rough waters out there right now.
Yeah. So everybody knows, it's no secret anymore. Rates have gone up this year. We've seen a little bit of a softening the last month or two where things have leveled off a little bit, which is good. For buyers, what we'd probably say is it's still a great time to buy. With the market shifting towards a little bit more of a buyer's market, it's actually a great time to buy, in my opinion. With the talk of adjustable rate mortgages or buy downs, we're just being creative on the lending side just to really help buyers out, set them up for success, with hopes and expectations that rates may come back down. But we always look at the best interest of the client, and there are options out there that are still very positives.
Okay. So, for example, in the news, right, they're talking about next month the Fed is going to raise rates again. Is there anything that you can say on that? Does that really affect mortgage rates, or does it not really?
When the federal government raises rates, they're talking about the Federal Reserve or the federal note rate. That's short-term money, typically borrowed between banks, credit unions. That usually the days that they do raise rates on the federal side, you will see mortgage rates typically go down for a day or two. That's just kind of an odd effect that they have. But I mean, it's not even a 1-to-1 ratio. So let's say, Feds raise rates 0.75%. We've heard that before. You'll eventually see mortgage rates catch up a little, but it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You could see them go up 0.25%, but it's more of a down the line effect as compared to an immediate. They cannot raise mortgage rates directly.
Is there anything different that happens during the loan process when building a home or just buying a home outright?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing there is just called what you call a long-term lock. So that's something we offer is, it'd just be locking your rate for a longer period of time. As compared to a conventional already built pre-existing home, we have 30-day, 45, 60-day locks. The big key there is how long the rate is able to be locked. And not everyone can do that, but that's where a big difference is right there.
Okay. And I've heard that you can actually even lock your rate even longer than that, but you have to pay for it. Is that true?
It is true, yeah. Longer term locks do acquire a higher cost than a shorter term lock. You're essentially reserving that rate for a longer period of time, and it does cost more. That is always disclosed with conversations, and it's just kind of a thing where people get to determine, is this the best fit for me or not?
What is the loan estimate?
Loan estimate is what you're going to see on disclosures that are sent out to you from the lender. The loan estimate is on your initial disclosures. It lists out some of the details of what has already been talked about in your pre-approval appointment when you're in contract. It lists your interest rate, your monthly payment, some of your fees, your cash to close. That's what the loan estimate is.
Does your team handle underwriting in-house?
We do have an in-house underwriting team, yes, and that is a positive at Summit. We can, there's interaction. You're able to talk to them and have more understanding of why something may not pass, or maybe it does. You just have the ability to go and talk to an actual person, and it gives us a little bit of an edge and helps us kind of be there more for our clients.
What is your average loan processing time?
I'd say the average is probably 30 days. That seems like kind of an industry standard. 21 days, 14 days are also options, depending on the property and the borrower and what needs to be done. But the ability to close sooner is something we can do as well. But I'd say 30 is probably an industry standard across the board.
If I was a client with Summit Funding or any other lender in general, what is something that the client can do to make sure that process is more streamlined?
I would say timely responses. So when you're talking about a 21-day or 14-day close, which is a little bit of a quicker close, being responsive. There's always those things that could potentially be asked or need to be explained from the borrower, from yourself, whether that's a bank statement or something on your W-2. Like, there's just things that we may need from you. And if we can hear back from you, if you're available and you can provide paperwork or documentation quickly, then it helps our turn times to be even faster. So I think responsiveness and just kind of having your ducks in a row when you go to purchase a home, that's one huge thing that can make or break a deal.
If I was a client going through the loan process and we hit the closing table, what do I need to bring?
To closing, you need to bring a pen and make sure you do your stretches because you get ready to do some signing. ID is a good thing to have. Obviously, whatever funds need to be there to close, your title rep will obviously guide you there. But yeah, that's all you need to bring.
What are some negative things that you see clients doing as they're going through the home loan process?
I think there's a lot of negatives like prior to the home loan process. I think a lot of it's just like fear-based with folks, especially these days with like what's going on in the market and all the media and the news, and it just gets people to feel afraid when there's really no reason to. It's always a good time to buy, and home prices have steadily climbed long term. It's always proven to be a good return on an investment. So, that fear will typically make people wait when they otherwise would not have. So I would say, talking to a lender really early on, even if it's a consideration, just to have that conversation, get it started, look at your credit, see if there's anything like we talked about before, debt you could maybe offload to kind of free yourself up a little bit every month. Talking with a lender, there's no cost. There's no cost to do an application. We're free guidance for you at that point. And so just make sure you utilize that. And we'd love to help you and teach you and set you up for success. But the key is just not waiting until the last minute, because we all know how that feels. If you wait and you don't prepare and you see the house of your dreams, you may wish you would have talked to us about 6 months ago.
How do I know if I need to sell my house before buying a house?
That's a good question. Yeah, a lot of people, especially here in Idaho, moving from out of state, contingent offers are a big deal. You typically do not need to sell your home, and what that is called is a bridge loan that we offer. Bridge loans, if you qualify, allow you to keep your home, use the equity as collateral, to then place a non-contingent offer on the primary that you want to purchase. You then have 6 months to sell your current primary. So that just really frees up people to make those non-contingent offers with this bridge loan program. It's always, yes, if you qualify, but if you do, it's a pretty slick product that allows you to not place those hard contingent offers and feel that stress of, do I sell first or do I buy first and then sell? That's a hard thing to do for people. So that's why that product was created.
It's a hard time for buyers right now, and mostly because of things that they're hearing, right?
Yeah, the media, the news, like watching, things from an outside perspective and letting that affect you emotionally and feeling the fear and allowing that to stop you from doing what you really want to do, purchasing a home. I would typically say talk to a professional, talk to a lender, to a realtor, to Treasure Valley Dave, and ask, hey, the professionals, is this a good time? What can I do? What can I expect? We're always there to help you and guide you. The last thing we'd want people to do is miss out on good opportunities just because of what they're seeing in the news or the fear they may feel because they just don't know. And so that's where we always just say, like, we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to help you, and it is with the heart to help. And so we will not guide you into a bad spot.
Wow, thank you so much, Mike, for stopping by and seeing us. We enjoy it every time that you stop by. And wow, we appreciate the information that you shared today. And if you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and share with somebody that needs to see it. Like it, that means so much. And subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate that. And it gives us the feedback that, yeah, we're doing something that's useful for you. So our website, www.treasurevalleydave.com. Check out that resources tab. Treasure Valley Aaron is working his hiney off to make sure there's some great information there for you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Aaron. Well, and Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave. And as always, seriously looking forward to helping you get home.